Alright, so we have a new version of Saheeli here. Gearing up on the sword combo, I'm using Saheeli Sun's Brilliance. She's basically a cheeky mirror breaker, pay 2 and tap her. Now what are we going to copy in the deck? Well, we got Blood Tithe Harvester. This is something that we've seen with Kiki Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Copying this can be really effective just to pump up your blood and power up make a removal spell every turn basically with a copy. Good thing to note though, it is sorcery speed only. I have learned that the hard way. Voice of Resurgence. This is really good with Saheeli because you see here it says sacrifice it, don't exile it. So if you make a copy of the voice, it will leave behind the token when it either dies or gets done at the end of turn. We're running Neoform here because the idea is that we're going to jump one up and grab a bomb from each level as we require it, as you can see on a reverse curve here. So for example, we could stack our voice or our blood token into any of our free drops here. Favorite Elder and Clophis, Leyline Prowler and Reflector Mage. Obviously some of these do different roles. Clearly we need the Mana Dorks to combo off here, or we can just use Reflector to constantly tempo play our opponent out of the game. Obviously, yeah. Now, Favorite Elder as Vigilance, remember that as well, it's very key here. Our 4 drops, we have Yishan to deal with the sacrifice decks. These are kind of like the 4 drop bombs that we might have to grab if we don't find our top end Niv. We also have Atreus, Oracle of Half-Truth, that's kind of like a mini Fact or Fiction. And copying that every turn can be really sick with the Saheeli. I mean, obviously we don't get an extra body because of the legend rule, but digging for free cards is actually really solid. And yes, I really want to play this art. And finally we have Vampire Daddy. Well, we gotta run Edgar. We love Edgar. Edgar has done so much work for us. Now obviously we run Niv, but our top end is 6 with Aurelia, so we want to sack Niv into Aurelia. And you might ask yourself, why do we want to do that? You know, with the Neoform? Well, it's very interesting. You see here my sideboard is an absolute mess because this is my brewing deck where I've just been trying all these different things. Saheeli, we can tap her and pay a blue and a red to copy any creature. Now, key thing here, this is not a sorcery speed. So what we can do, if we have an Aurelia on the field, we can use her to attack, and the keyword of Aurelia, she untaps all creatures. So we can untap all of our Mana Dorks and our Saheeli, and then we go to damage, we hit our opponent for the damage we're going to swing in for, and then before we leave the damage step, holding control, we activate Saheeli again to make a token copy of Aurelia and legend rule the original away. The token is a new copy that has not had its ability trigger, so we get to swing in again, triggering another combat step and another untap. So that's basically the conditions for this combo. We need Aurelia on the field with a Saheeli and enough Mana Dorks or Favorite Elder to create blue-red. Now, this is a very early build of the deck. I have only just really discovered the synergy after seeing a friend of mine run it. A lot of these creatures are kind of half placeholders, half serious. At one point, just to check that it still worked, I was running nothing but Mana Dorks, Saheelis, Nivs and Aurelias. So I'm going to continue building the deck and testing it out. But what I wanted to show you here with a demonstration right now is how this works. So I have used the Saheeli here to copy the Niv. Now I get to use Neoform, and I Neoform Niv. I'm against Sparky here. As I said before, this is just me testing it out. So we Neoform Niv. Another key thing I forgot to mention of Aurelia, she does have haste. So we grab Aurelia, we activate hold full control. You've got to do this, otherwise Arena is just an absolute mess. We swing in, we trigger our additional combat step. Now we go past blocks, past damage. Now we can activate Saheeli, copying Aurelia, tapping our Mana Dork producer. That creates us a token. We legend rule the original away. Move to our extra attack step. Swing in again. Aurelia triggers again, and we get to repeat this process infinitely. So as you can see here, we get to obviously go out. Now, I'm tweaking the deck obviously to be just an aggro deck, and one of the reasons this is really strong is I want to build it around ETBs that I can recycle. but it's still a work in progress. But I actually like this variation, and you'll probably see it coming up more in the future.